Welcome to the Roar Room, truth on the mic. Healing the soul, we rise and ignite. Mind, body, spirit aligned in the flame. Roar Room tribe, we roar in our name. The Roar Room, our tribe, our truth. The lights dim, the air shifts, and every heartbeat in this room starts to sink like a drum, calling its people home. We are the ones who rise when the world gets loud. We are the ones who speak when silence tries to swallow us whole. We are the ones who walk in with fire in our chests and purpose in our bones. This is our tribe, the ones who refuse to shrink, the ones who choose courage over comfort, the ones who know that truth isn't whispered, it's roared. So step in, stand tall, let the world hear what it tried to quiet. Because in this space, in the Roar Room, we don't hide who we are. We don't dim our light. We don't apologize for our power. We speak, we rise, we roar. Our tribe, our truth.
And here we are.
Welcome.
The Roar Room.
It's playing
I
again.
know. It does that. I don't know why it loops like that.
I
wish
never
it would
did that
stop.
before, did it?
Why can't you just stop playing when you play it the first time? Why does it loop? It must be a setting. Loop? Okay, yeah, that's what it is. I
You're on
turned
a
the
loop?
There we go. I turned the loop off. I think most of us should really take a look at turning the loops off so we stop repeating the same shit over and over expecting a different result.
He's one of those ones
Exactly.
that gives out advice but doesn't take it.
Yeah,
That's
got
funny.
in a
I didn't
loop.
even hear. I didn't even hear the song. It didn't play again tonight. I had to go to my phone to hear it on Facebook.
Oh, that's weird.
I got to figure that out tonight.
Oh, cool. Happy Saturday, 6/6/2026. Getting a lot of rain.
It
Great.
just poured here, and then when we got back home, for just a few minutes, and now it's just I don't know, windy. It's good.
Oh, kind of like your day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Ain't that right, Bud? Bud got groomed today.
I put a
Yeah,
picture on the chat.
I saw it. That's so cute. That's a good one. I like it.
All right, so we reached the 100,000 mark on the flock cameras, and I think which is crawl. I don't know what's climbing faster, the surveillance state or the national debt. I can't.
Oh, I know, right? Oh, but Trump's going to bring coal back. Do you have that one, W?
Oh,
Well, it's a whole thing. Yeah, so guess what? It's going to provide thousands of jobs because we all want to work in the coal mines, right?
oh,
Oh my gosh.
there's some
For
funny.
real. I'm I'm serious.
What is he doing? I thought it was for a bailout because they're
They
doing
said
so
we're
bad.
going to go back to coal. It's reliant. I think he's just messing with us. But I remember we were watching up in the this several towns near the Appalachian Mountains that the towns had just like went to ghost town because all the coal mines had closed down. Everyone lost their jobs, and a lot of people got on drugs. They couldn't leave. They didn't have enough money to leave, so their town just went to crap. And they said they voted for Trump because he promised the coal mine would open back up, and then it didn't. So now he's saying they're going to, which is
Well,
kind of
I
weird.
think
We have all these data centers and stuff. Now they want
he said
us
he
to
was
use
gonna.
coal.
I thought it was just a bailout. You sure that was? He
That's
just gave him 700 million for a rescue package. Does that have to? Is he
for who?
the miners
The miners?
for the coal industry?
I thought it was the farmers.
No, the farmers. He was showing them how badass his coal is.
Uh,
Remember that?
yeah.
Yeah, for the farmers, he went.
No, that's what Dabu was talking about, the coal mines.
Yeah, for the farmers, he
Hold
look.
on. Find
Here
it.
it is. Here's the farmer thing
Yeah.
right here. And of course, at this event, he had to talk about the reflection pool.
Which it's weird because they were Penguin X went down there and he
Right.
showed they're just now
They're filling it up. It's filling up.
well they were power washing it.
Why would they power wash it after painting it?
It's not painted yet.
It's painted. It's filling up with water right now.
No,
Yeah, it is.
no,
I seen it. Penguin X went down there today or yesterday.
that's what we watched, and they were
2 days.
power washing it.
Well, you're 2 days behind. You're like it's progress
Did
pretty
I
quickly.
just-
Sheepdog, you've been listening.
You
to
didn't see what I
NPR
seen.
then?
Where was I?
I don't know.
Miss Sheepdog's on NPR. She's not on Fox News like you.
No. That's
No, I
weird.
have boots on the ground. Go check it out.
Fountains. None of them worked.
So we're talking about fountains at the thing for farmers.
Here's the thing on the Trump and the coal.
Okay.
Trump is actively taking steps to expand coal production
Oh, okay.
and coal-fired power in the U.S.
There we go.
But it's not a simple bring coal back. It's a sense of restoring the industry to its historic size. But he's actually doing large federal investments in coal plants. The administration has committed about $700 million
That's
to
it.
extend the life of 13 existing coal plants, build 2 new ones in Alaska and West Virginia, and restart a closed plant in Maryland. New coal export infrastructure, $75 million, is being directed towards a long-delayed coal export terminal in Oakland, California. Executive orders explicitly prioritize coal. Trump issued an order declaring coal essential to national security, directing agencies to remove regulatory barriers, expanding mining in federal lands, and classify coal as a mineral to unlock additional support. His administration is working to loosen pollution rules on coal plants, delay coal ash cleanups deadlines, and challenge soot emission standards. The DOE is funding to modernize a recommissioned plant. An additional $625 million is being invested in coal modernization, rural coal-powered energy, reliability, and dual fuel retrofits. So wow, huh?
All right.
It's
Here we go.
The last 50 years, none of them.
All right. So this is for America's farmers.
We had 22 fountains. None of them worked for the
Oh wait, we're supposed to be talking about farming, right?
Yeah.
But we're talking about fountains in DC.
last 50 years. None of them. They were graffiti strewn. I did it the inexpensive way. Why should we have a screen? Everybody here has good vision. I want to show you something. Look at this. I'm going to show you the cheap way, okay? We don't want to bring screens. It costs too much money. Look at that.
Now take note of the lady over here, agriculture right here, lady.
It's before and after. Look at that.
Like they give a shit about the damn water fountains, dude. There 15,000 farmers lost their farms last year.
Yes.
You think they give a shit about your pool? I don't think so, dude.
Look at it.
Oh, look at it.
See that?
Would
That's
you look at it?
before.
Would you just look at it? Look at it.
That's our nation's capital. That's what it, look at this graffiti all over it, filthy, disgusting stone. The stone was all horrible. And look over there, that's before and after. Then we had the reflecting pond, 2,500 feet, massive, longer than a building. We have a stat here that's sort of great. Can you guys see this okay? Because I'm too cheap to put up like a projector. Look, so that's the pond. If we're standing up,
I got the information
Here's
on
your-
the farmers.
Sears Tower, Empire State Building, World Trade Center. Look,
My gosh, he's comparing the reflecting pool as compared to buildings.
These people are wanting to have real conversations about the farmers, and we're showing pictures of pools. And I'm like, he shows the Empire State Building over to the right, 1776, and then the pool is 2030. So I think that 1776 to 2026 is a 250-year mark. So something 1776-2030.
it's double and triple the size in terms of area. So it would have cost 400
It's the greatest pool refurbishment ever.
million, Ron, to fix. It would have taken 4 years. And they were getting ready. Doug Burgum's done an amazing job. And I said, you know, rather than doing that, they were going to put stone down, big stone, granite, wonderful, but it all leaks because you have joints. So being a very good builder, I said, you know what? I built a lot.
Farmers are going, well, there goes my farm.
Right?
Looks like it's time to sell my farm.
Well, why don't they say anything? But I'm pretty
Oh,
sure
no,
I
they're kind of
wouldn't be.
sitting there going, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
I think all three of us would say something. If we were
Yeah.
sitting there, we would say
I mean,
something.
hello.
We're like, what is this?
Whoa.
I said, I'd be like, is this a dog?
No.
At the farm?
No,
Is this a dog and pony show? What are we doing here?
is this thing on?
Can we talk about the farms? Let's talk about us.
Right.
Let's talk about the farmers and Americans for a change instead of about yourself and what you did and how great you are. Right?
But see, that's a problem.
We get
where
it. You're the
people are-
best.
People have got a chance to speak up, and they're not speaking up because
Right.
some cameras are in front of them. I don't care if the camera's in front of me. Like,
Well, that's
just
probably why they wouldn't allow you to be the one up on stage.
yeah.
KVB said farmers go first in the cubicle. They won the lawsuit way back. Albania gets a new resort thanks to Ivanka and Jared. Save the flamingos. Damn land grabs. Right? Yeah, yeah, according to well, if you go back to read Fruit from a Poisonous Tree, they talk about what happened to the farmers way back and how they were doing all these lawsuits back then. But let me read what he's doing with the farming right now.
Yeah, take note of the lady sitting next to him. We're going to talk about her in a second. Over here to the left, see this lady in the blue? We're fixing to see her on the testifying here in a minute. Go ahead.
So right now, Trump is expanding subsidies and support programs. Trump has backed larger federal payments for commodity farmers, corn, soy, wheat, cotton, especially in response to the market disruptions. He's rolling back environmental regulations. His administration has loosened rules on pesticides, water protections, and livestock operations, which many large-scale producers say lowers their costs.
Right.
Push for increased domestic energy. Policies that boost ethanol and biodiesel can benefit corn and soybean growers. Tariff and trade renegotiations. Some farmers support the tougher stance on trade, believing it will lead to better long-term prices. What's hurting the farmers right now is the high equipment and input costs. Tariffs on steel, fertilizer components, and machinery parts have raised costs for many farmers. Farm-backed bankruptcies and consolidation. Small and mid-sized farms continue to disappear, a trend that predates Trump but has accelerated in his term in some regions. Uncertainty in exports. Even when trade deals are renegotiated, global buyers often shift permanently to other suppliers. Extreme weather impacts, droughts, floods, and heat waves have hit Texas and the Midwest hard, and many farmers say federal support hasn't kept up. There's creating problems in the crops. Yep.
Well, they can make it rain if they wanted to. So if you're having issues with your crops and you're going through some dry spell,
Well, it might be near a data center that's taking a
it's probably because they want you to get the hell out of there, give up,
right.
kill
Well, they
yourself.
said
They want you to commit suicide.
a lot of them have been foreclosed. A lot.
Madam Secretary, do you know how many farms we lost in the United States last year?
I know you were talking about the bankruptcies. I know that about 315 farms of 1.88 million are moving through bankruptcy right now.
We lost 15,000 farms last year.
Well, that's a
Some
conversation
third,
I would
fourth,
really
some
like
third,
to have.
fourth, and fifth generation farms.
Okay, so not bankruptcy, just
15,000 farms.
the
We lost
purchase.
15,000 farms because of bad policy on the part of this administration.
So you think we walked in the door
I'm sorry,
and then those
I'm
farms
going to ask the
closed
questions here
immediately?
today.
Okay, I would love a question.
Do you know how much money farmers lost last year? What their losses were last year?
Why would she not know
It was
that?
$28 billion. You're the secretary.
Why would she not know that?
Exactly.
Like, this is what we're talking about here.
She just looks constipated.
Of Agriculture, $28 billion.
Well, it depends how you calculate that, because I don't think you're taking into account all the crop protection, all the insurance, all of the different programs that went through to support our farmers.
Right. And if this administration didn't have terrible policies, we would not need all that support for family farmers because we would have export markets still left in China. Thank you for that.
Madam Ranking Member, that is absolutely 100% not correct. When we lost all of our trade access around the world, we went
Madam
to a $42
Secretary, I'm
billion
going to reclaim my time on
agricultural
behalf
trade
of family
deficit.
farmers.
That was not the Trump
Reclaiming my
administration. That
time
was
means you
the
stop.
Anyways, I don't like to reclaiming my time back and forth shit. Can't ever really. These hearings, you really don't get a whole lot out of it, but a bunch of cat throwing shade. Like, so nothing ever gets fixed.
They need whatever they put on dogs, like the big dogs when you take them for a walk and they don't listen, like when they zap, like that should be in that chair. Like if they don't answer, it's like zzz. I said answer please, yes or no. Zzz. Yeah, every time. It's just until they straighten out. Like stop fooling around. Was that a little harsh?
No, you're not totally normal. All right, so here's the water issue they're having in West Virginia.
The DEP's been known to.
Holy shit.
I've never seen anything like that. The DEP's been known to stretch the truth a little bit. Looks like a scene out of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
They said they cleared the drain out, and now about 5 miles up the road, all the stream's contaminated.
Yeah.
First thing came to mind was, hey, we need to get a hold of DEP. They said, hey, we're going to send our guy out all day yesterday. It was me and a few other people out, none of them. Midnight, we were out taking samples, and we seen the dead wildlife. We seen everything moving downstream.
It's a mess.
Is it?
See, the acid mine drainage guys, railroad did not cause this.
When you say the railroad, what do you mean, Richard?
They're trying to blame the railroad was messing with the culvert down here, and that's why it started coming out. But as you can see, it's coming out at the top. That's all acid mine drainage right through there. Look at this.
Holy shit.
Look at that. I've never seen anything like that. Now, how in the world did they mess with the culvert cause all this? That's not coming from the culvert. That's coming from a mine. It's coming out all down through here. I grew up in these woods. Everybody else has grew up in these woods. They've never seen anything like this.
Grew up, born and raised in Martin County, Kentucky. So we had a big slurry spill. Since then, we don't have drinking water. The companies are doing damage to us. They'll probably like settle with some of the families, kind of like Martin County did. Now we're drinking bottled water.
My theory is they're flooding all the abandoned mines for the rare earth mineral, and I believe that they are moving water around through old gas lines and making it circulate. Back in 2023, all of our creeks went dry. We started having mine blowouts similar to this. The DEP's been known to stretch the truth a little bit.
So you're suspicious?
Oh, no, it's fact. There's 100 places in Wyoming County where this is happening. Now, they flood these abandoned mines and let the gas push back into the sides of the coal seam. It builds up pressure. As they lower the water down, they vacuum it to where these flaring pads are, and they vacuum it and they burn it in an incinerator, and California comes out once a year and reads it and issues some carbon credits, and they sell it on the market.
I've never seen it this bad in my life. This right here needs to be reported. DEP ain't gonna do nothing.
It's not normal. How many people's getting sick off this stuff, man? We're all ate up in health problems down here.
See that foam right there? That is an industrial cleaner. I had it tested back in Wyoming County.
I had a stepmother that lived across the creek right beside this. She passed away of cancer. Now my wife has breast cancer.
What changes have you noticed in your well since this discharge started happening?
Muddier looking.
That will find its way to your well. I don't care what they tell you.
We're pushing for more transparency. We deserve better, and we're tired of crooked ass politicians.
It's another orange stream that's coming from the opposite side of where they said they was working at, man.
You're finding everything that they've ever injected into these coal bed methane wells that they've capped and abandoned. It's coming out now. We're fighting the DEP. We're fighting the people that's supposed to be helping us. Looks like a scene out of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
It all ends up in the river, and that's where they catch their water at for everyone to drink. It's normal to us because we've had to put up with it.
I think there's some corrupt politicians that needs to go to jail. I think the top 5 at the DEP ought to resign. They need to change the name to West Virginia Environmental Protection to West Virginia. We make money at the expense of everybody else. That's what they need to do.
Holy shit.
I've never seen anything like that. The DEP's been known to stretch the truth a little bit. Looks like a scene out of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
They said they cleared the drain out, and now about 5 miles up the road, all the stream's contaminated.
Yeah.
First thing came to mind was, hey, we need to get a hold of DEP. They said, hey, we're going to send our guy out. All day yesterday, it was me and a few other people out, none of them. Midnight, we were out taking samples, and we seen the dead wildlife. We seen everything moving downstream.
It's a mess.
Is it?
See the acid drainage guys? Railroad did not cause this.
When you say the railroad, what do you mean, Richard?
They're trying to blame the railroad was messing with the culvert down here, and that's why it started coming out. But as you can see, it's coming out at the top. That's all acid mine drainage right through there. Look at this.
Holy shit.
Look at that. I've never seen anything like that. Now, how in the world did they mess with the culvert cause all this? That's not coming from the culvert. That's coming from a mine. It's coming out all down through here. I grew up in these woods. Everybody else has grew up in these woods.
I
They've
can't
never
get a
seen anything
signal.
like this.
Grew up, born and raised in Martin Kentucky. So we had a big slurry spill. Since then, we don't have drinking water. The companies are doing damage to us. They'll probably like settle with some of the families, kind of like Martin County did. Now we're drinking bottled water.
My theory is they're flooding all the abandoned mines for the rare earth mineral, and I believe that they are moving water around through old gas lines and making it circulate. Back in 2023, all of our creeks went dry. We started having mine blowouts similar to this. The DEP's been known to stretch the truth a little bit.
So you're suspicious?
Oh, no, it's fact. There's 100 places in Wyoming County where this is happening. Now, they flood these abandoned mines and let the gas push back into the sides of the coal seam.
All right, sorry about that. I lost my screens. I couldn't turn the damn thing off. It repeated 5 times.
No, I'm glad you went around again because I couldn't understand the first time what they were talking about with the accent.
Oh, hell. Are you serious?
I really couldn't.
Wow. Take your ass up north. You could deal with them yonder talking about down there, boy.
Oh my goodness. It's almost like they aren't opening their mouth all the way up when they speak or something. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, so that's in West Virginia. You were talking about the mines being built, more mines being built.
In West
Bro,
Virginia.
they can't even manage the ones they got. They go in there, they dig all this shit up, they cause all this issues around the community. People get cancer and dying, and then they roll on to the next one.
But you notice he said only on federal lands.
Holy shit.
Only on federal land?
Only on federal lands.
Yeah, so polluted. That's in West Virginia. That's taking place right now. Southern West Virginia residents expressed concern over the this discolored water, brown water coming out. That's all over. West Virginia water crisis. They've been having these water crises for years, though. Chemical spills and stuff like that, going back 10, 20, 30, 40 years. So nothing's changed. But they have these environmental agencies that come in there. Here is wait, that one right here.
We begin tonight with the water crisis in McDowell County. 13 News Political.
The West Virginia public experts testified to the dire state of Gary's water system. Now, the McDowell County PSD will be taking over the distressed utility.
McDowell County Water Public Services was created to take over a lot of small systems that are spread around that county. A lot of them have the same kind of problem with the quality of water. They have iron and manganese in a lot of the sources. That makes the water be rust colored. They're likely to have a lot of sediment in them.
Experts have pointed to long-term impacts of mining as a leading cause of contaminated water sources in communities like Gary.
The whole system was originally built by a coal company.
Yeah.
And so it was a good idea when it was built. It provided water to the community.
If you went through all of southern West Virginia, I would say that half of them need a new water source. That stuff leaches into the water when it fills up and becomes sulfuric acid, which eats away at the surrounding rock.
The PSC and other authorities have stated that replacing so many water sources could cost millions, perhaps billions. These numbers scared many lawmakers away from emergency funding bills, but community leader Reverend Brad Davis, who spent weeks in the Capitol during the legislative session, has some thoughts on that.
It wasn't too expensive for you to cut a tax break for the most wealthy people in this state. Saying that it's too expensive to make sure that people have safe water is putting a price tag on human life. And I'm sorry, but if you are doing that, you need to have a come to Jesus meeting with yourself and your maker.
With declining populations and unsalvageable water tanks, municipalities in the southern coalfields will need to work together to ensure their residents have clean drinking water.
Hey, we got money for a pool.
Yeah.
Now, didn't they do this kind of stuff overseas with the water? Did they mess with other people's water in the different? Yeah, in the different countries.
I don't know. I know they were talking about China's data centers are all in the ocean. Why do we have ours here on the land?
They're trying to. They want to put the solar panels in the lakes up here.
What?
So that they want to put solar panels in the lakes. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Yeah, they're trying to.
Well, it makes sense why China would put theirs in the water since they need so much water, right? It's like common sense.
It just doesn't make sense to put solar panels up north, like
unless they're expecting some.
Hold on, I gotta set up the next video. It's gonna happen.
Some power outages, maybe. Right, because they've been talking about our infrastructure is vulnerable, and it's really shitty because they hadn't done nothing to it in years.
Well, at least there's clean water in the pool.
Until Trump gets in there and pisses in.
Yeah, and you know what? I didn't know that it was that shallow. I thought it was like a pool.
Know. But they don't want kids to fall in, I guess.
Y'all don't remember Jenny running across the damn water to run to Forrest whenever he was making his speech?
Forrest run.
When she was running across the water.
But yeah, so it's not really a pool. It's like a.
Trump called it a pond at the farmers' meeting with the farmers. He called it a pond.
So you can see Osiris's phallus
at 666 feet tall on 666.
You can see a reflection of it as well. Wow.
Yeah, so there it is. Look at it. Will you just look at it? All right, so there it is. That's West Virginia. That's the farmers. That's All right, so here is. We're talking about the flock cameras, right?
Yeah.
It's on campus.
Oh yeah.
It's on college campuses.
Yeah, they're not. They're not.
And they're
happy.
telling Peter Thiel to go pound sand.
Block you, bro. Hey, Peter Thiel, block you. Tracking your every move. Track this. Guys, if we go missing, we are not suicidal.
If you look at the flock cameras down here,
Oh no,
Colorado,
I'm blind.
we've got them maintained.
Oh no, I'm blind. We'll get back to you when we died of 50 self-inflicted gunshot wounds in the back.
So they know about being Arkansas-sided, huh?
Yeah.
College students.
Yep.
But our elders don't know around about it. How is that? How are the youth know what's going on, but the older people have no fucking clue?
Maybe they do.
And I'm not
They
saying
heard it
all.
from their parents.
Right. Or maybe they've seen it on TikTok. Hell, who
Yeah,
knows?
true.
No.
Yeah. Everybody's a patriot until it's time to do patriot shit, right?
Yeah.
All right. So salute to the youth. Erica Kirk was called a pedophile on stage. Of course, she's in a control.
Protecting pedophiles.
She's in. Protecting pedophiles. I don't know. Who is she protecting though? Is what somebody said. Like, how does that play in? She's not a part of the DOJ, is she?
And it's important to remember that happiness comes and goes. It is so fleeting. But the joy of the Lord withstands all. It's important to remember that happiness comes and goes, and I pray that you find it.
All right.
Well, the sheep, please stand up. Please stand up.
Right. I think that clapping was amplified.
Well, what the deal is I don't know. Y'all think this is a normal audience? This is Turning Point VIPs.
Yeah.
Okay. This isn't an average everyday audience of just average everyday people showing up to an event. This is orchestrated. Even the audience is planted in there, right?
Yes.
If you go to the last event they had, the only people that got inside in the front seats, all inside, was VIP TPUSA members. They all had badges. So of course they're going to stand up and clap for Turning Point, right? Anyways, I'm still trying to figure out why, but so that's a part of the PSYOP. The more PSYOP coming from that PSYOP. So Charlie Kirk, right? She doesn't talk about Charlie Kirk a whole lot, does she? Or her.
Yeah, I mean, Charlie had started to have an awakening. Oh, you think? He had a lot younger than I had it.
Yeah.
And so that's why they had to kill him. And when I say they, I mean multiple.
You see how he said he had his awakening at a younger age than he did? Because he's just now waking up as well. So there's a picture of her. Not saying just now. He's been talking about it for a while, but Charlie Kirk was at 30. Some people have theirs at 40, 50, 60. Some never. But just want to point out that
Yeah, I mean, Charlie had started to have an awakening.
Oh, you think?
He had a lot younger than I had it.
Yeah.
And so that's why they had to kill him. And when I say they, I mean multiple. There was a conspiracy to kill him. It wasn't some guy, Tyler Robinson, with his grandpa's rifle, which was never fired, which is why they couldn't find that rifle. You have to swallow so much stuff to believe the story that the establishment is pushing for Charlie Kirk's assassination. Yeah. You have to think that this, first of all, a 30-06 bullet didn't take his head clean off or leave a drive-through window in the back of his neck. Somehow he had a miracle. His miracle bullet, remember that? Hey, Can you give me an explanation of why his head didn't blow off without a miracle? Do you have an actual explanation? No. So, but it goes back to, so this guy gets to the campus. He drives 3. All of a sudden, he wakes up one day and goes, you know what? I'm going to commit the biggest public assassination in the last 60 years. He drives to the campus. He finds the open stairwell. It's open. Nobody's there. He brings the gun up, but it's too big. So he has to take it apart and put it in his backpack. Still too big for his backpack. So he has to put it down his pant legs is what they tell. But then if he did, he couldn't go up the steps because he couldn't bend his knees. So I don't know how he got it up there. Nobody will tell me. So he gets up there and then he changes his clothes. He's up on top of that roof for 10 minutes. That's according to the governor. He was up there for 8 to 10 minutes. Nobody sees him. The cops don't see him. The $1 million security team doesn't see him. Nobody sees him except people in the crowd did see him. And they don't tell you that. People, just like in Butler, Pennsylvania, people in the crowd saw him. Guess who didn't see him? The cops, the local cops, the state cops, the Secret Service. People see it. So, and then he puts the gun together. He lines up the shot, puts a scope on it. By the way, if that scope was on it, he couldn't fire that gun because of the safe. Anyway, so he lines it up, takes the shot, hits it perfectly, takes the gun apart, leaves the screwdriver there, puts it under a towel, Spider-Man's his way off the top of a building, runs across campus with the gun apparently under a towel. Nobody sees this. He runs into the woods, puts the gun back together again without the screwdriver. He's a regular MacGyver, this guy. And then he hides the gun in the backyard of a house owned by Palantir. And if you think anything else besides that, you're a crazy Jew-hating conspiracy nut.
And there you have it. But Erica Kirk was quick to forgive the non-shooter, wasn't she? Right? So we still don't have the person that did it arrested, basically. Just like JFK. Just like any other assassination in this country over the last 40, 50, 70 years. Hell, even you go, did anybody get arrested for assassinating Lincoln? No, they pretended to chase somebody through the woods for weeks, didn't they?
Nowadays, with all the conspiracy people, if that one was crazy enough to do something like that, to be like, dude, I so totally did that. I did that. They'd be telling everybody, yeah, make sure I get the freaking credit while I'm in jail.
Right.
That's that. Tucker laughing his ass off. Yeah, Charlie Kirk's assassination lines up with the usable script of a lone gunman, miracle trajectories and security lapses that only protect the people in charge. The same apparatus that buried Epstein list is now selling this one as settled fact, which is how they keep the uniparty machine running without interruption. All right. Oh, and you also have to believe that Epstein trafficked children to nobody and Maxwell. That's another narrative, right? All right. So here's Theo Vaughn. He has something to say here. Theo Vaughn, what's really going on with the data centers? Talk about the data centers. Everybody has their own thing on what's going on, but when you look at the people involved, like Google, other big companies like that, I think they're trying to bring the Google data centers to Texas.
What do you think is really going on? Because if you
Pelosi's invested in Google too, huh? So she's making a lot of money.
So
all those politicians are invested in Google.
First, let's talk, real quick about the data centers. What do you think is really going on? Because if you look at the size of these places, like we don't need that much data. Like we're already using our phones. We already have like televisions, like that. There's already like a lot of stuff being stored on servers. How are we jumping to a level where we need that? That's what I want to know.
Oh, I have to agree. And besides the fact that they use massive amounts of water. And oddly enough, they're located in a lot of states that don't have a ton of water, like Texas.
Yeah.
Or you go out to Loudoun County, Virginia. Okay, we have enough water. But Loudoun County, Virginia, you drive for miles and miles, and they're just these never-ending, gigantic complexes of data centers.
The proposed Stratos project in Utah is a massive 40,000
There's no water in Utah.
a 40,000 acre AI data center campus.
2.5 times larger than Manhattan.
Yeah. I wonder how long the actual data, how big
and just the data center requires more than double the current energy consumption of the entire state of Utah.
Yeah.
Come on.
I mean, that's unbelievable. What do you think's really going on there? Do you have any intel about it?
You have to assume that this is Intel related because look at the companies that are involved. We're talking about Palantir and NVIDIA and Abraxas and all these big companies that either took CIA.
Isn't that weird? Palantir's involved in all this shit, even with the Charlie Kirk assassination. Right there, people that own the property behind the Charlie Kirk, where he was shot, was Palantir. It's like Jimmy Dore said.
Yep.
And they're doing the data centers.
Investments to get started as seed money, or are staffed by retired senior CIA officers. They're not doing it for their health.
Why is so is the CIA now is spying on our own people?
Oh yeah, that's what Ed Snowden warned us about. Yeah, without Ed Snowden's revelations, we wouldn't have any idea that NSA and CIA were spying on Americans, which is not just illegal. It's a part of NSA's charter that it may not spy on Americans. And this place in Utah, he and Julian Assange told us about Utah. This new compound in Utah that NSA has built has enough memory, storage space for every phone call, every email, and every text message from every American for the next 500 years.
Wow.
Why?
Just that building?
Uh-huh.
Then why do they need all these buildings?
Yeah, why? They're everywhere. What are they collecting?
I'm not sure. And that's it. It's like what it must be. It's got to be all of our information. What would you do right now? Is there any way that people can protect themselves? Do you know?
It's almost impossible now. I wrote a series of books during COVID for Skyhorse Publishing, the CIA Insider's Guides to Surveillance and Surveillance Detection, Lying and Lie Detection, and Disappearing and Living Off the Grid. They put them together and they're republishing them in the next month, I guess, as one volume, CIA Skills, Tactics, and the Ultimate Guide to CIA Skills, Tactics, and Techniques.
There we go.
But when it comes to protecting yourself from the data state, you got to go Eric Rudolph or Unabomber and just own no technology at all. It's the only way to protect yourself. Otherwise, you're going to be scooped up in all this. Now, the odd thing is, according to Ed Snowden, NSA, CIA, other governmental organizations are scooping up all this data and they're just holding it. Why? Why are they holding it? Now, time was really until the immediate post 9/11 period, where if the government wanted your information, they had to go to a federal judge and say, we want Theo Vaughn's information, and this is the reason we want it. And the judge had to say, okay, that's a legitimate reason. I'll sign the warrant. Now, they just write something called a national security letter. They give it to your provider, and they say, give us everything you have on Theo Vaughn. And they just turn it over. Or they go to these new data centers and just put your name in, your information, and everything pops up. You don't have any legal protections. They just take whatever they want.
And that's legal now? They can do that?
And it's legal now.
How'd that become legal?
In the National Defense Act of 2016. National Defense Authorization Act of 2016.
Wow.
Damn, so this train started rolling today before Trump came down the escalator. But he's not stopping it, is he? He's not. Actually, he signed an executive order to accelerate it. Crazy. And on top of that,
here to Section 224 of the 2027 National Defense Authorization Act. This is the section that effectively merges the United States military with Israel. And it doesn't just merge the military, it gives Israel access to American soil, American intelligence, American data, American directed energy weapons, and of course, American AI surveillance state technology. Now, this section of the NDAA was rammed through committee on Thursday by way of a voice vote. There is no roll call, letting us know exactly which members of Congress committed treason against the United States during that vote, because that's exactly how they want it to be. They love voice votes because they don't have to assign their name to a yes or a no. The vote passed by a margin of 44-12, and now the Section 224 will be included in the NDAA when it heads for a floor vote very shortly in Washington, D.C. All right.
So that's taking place simultaneously. It's definitely
uniforms with the flag of Israel. I am pleased to announce that the U.S. Army is now the Israeli Defense Forces. Go ahead and replace the American flags on your uniforms with the flag of Israel. I am pleased to announce that the U.S.
There you go. That's what it looks like, in case you wondered, which is what we've been talking about for years now. How our military serves the state of Israel. That's why they said, fuck America first. It was Israel first is America first, and that's why we're at war, and the gas prices and everything's up. It's all bullshit, right? Here we go. So Thomas Massey's going to be speaking on the House floor, I think, Monday at noon. He's going to be talking about the USS Liberty and the people who died who were wounded in an unprovoked attack by Israel on June 8, 1967, on the anniversary. So in 2 days is the anniversary of the Liberty. He's going to deliver the speech.
Yeah, because everyone needs to hear that. A lot of people didn't know about that.
Says, I will deliver this speech Monday at approximately noon. I'm honored to report that some survivors had already indicated they will attend as my guest in the gallery. If you're a survivor and would like to attend, please contact my office or talk with the leaders in your group. So that's going to take place. That should be interesting. That's Monday. That's going to be a hot topic Monday. I'm sure we'll have a distraction or something to go along with that. But pay attention to who has a problem with that speech.
Playing this shit. We watched what you did to our grandparents. We watched what you did to our parents. I was in 6th grade when those towers came down. I was in 8th grade. I crossed the graduation stage as the housing market burst. I finally got a decent business put together for myself after overcoming my personal adversaries. And then here comes a pandemic. My generation's done. We're done.
Our first resident is Nick C. If you could come up the podium, state your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Nick. I reside in North Huntington. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the board and fellow residents, before I begin my statement tonight, I want to ground this discussion where it belongs, in the Constitution of the United States, the very document every public official in this room swore an oath to uphold. Article 6 of that Constitution contains 3 simple but powerful principles. First, our government does not get to walk away from its obligations. Article 6 says that debts and responsibilities remain valid no matter who holds the office. That means institutions cannot dodge accountability because someone retires, resigns, or is transferred. The obligation stays with the government in itself, and in so with the taxpayer. Second, the Constitution of the United States is the supreme law of the land. That means that no township policy, no local ordinance, no internal memo, no individual decision in this building can override the rights that that document gives the people. If a local law or local action is inconsistent with the Constitution wins every single time, and judges, state and local, are required to honor that. And third, every official, legislative, executive, and judicial, must swear an oath to support the Constitution. That includes law enforcement, the township manager, every commissioner here, and every public employee who exercises power. That oath is not ceremonial. It is not optional. It is binding. It is a contract with the people. It is the stand by which every decision made in this township must be measured. So when rights are violated, when transparency is withheld, when retaliation replaces accountability, it is not just a bad policy decision, it is a breach of the Constitution and a breach of the oath that each of you swore. I'm opening with Article 6 tonight because what we are discussing isn't personal, it isn't political, it is constitutional. And every single person in this room, myself included, is bound by that higher authority. Now, I will admit, I am shocked that this has gone globally. I am getting tons of messages from Australia, New Zealand, the entire world right now is having this problem. Nepal, they burnt parliament to the ground and marched their officials through the streets. And it was the millennials, which is what I am. I can tell you the millennials are not playing this shit. We watched what you did to our grandparents. We watched what you did to our parents. I was in 6th grade when those towers came down. I was in 8th grade. I crossed the graduation stage as the housing market burst. I finally got a decent business put together for myself after overcoming my personal adversaries. And then here comes a pandemic. My generation's done. We're done. We're not playing. We don't want special treatment. We want our basic human rights to be acknowledged and respected. You threatened to have me arrested, Ron Zona. Now millions of people are watching a video where you went like this to me and told me to bring it on while I stood here at my podium at my town square. You, a public servant. We still have a chance to resolve this as a community. We still have a chance to not nationally and globally embarrass ourselves in our community, but I'm done playing with you guys. The only reason I have not filed a federal lawsuit is because I know my timelines, is because I don't want to take my neighbor's money. They're the ones going to pay for this. When I come through with a $60 million lawsuit, a RICO case with criminal charges attached to it, this township is going to go into state conservatorship. They will raise the taxes. Low income and seniors will be the first to go. You guys really underestimated me. And I asked you all at the very beginning, every time I spoke to any of you, I said the same thing. You don't know who I am. You don't know who I know. You don't know what my skill set is. You don't know my level of intelligence. I said, but that's okay. Just treat me and my family with dignity and respect. We will have no issues. But instead, you guys locked down on me. You refused to take my emails. You refused to take my calls. You shut off all lines of communication, all in bad faith. While I continued to persevere through the abuse and show up twice a month in good faith to the point of being unlawfully arrested, and it is not lost upon me that there are those within the power structure that fantasize about my death right now. I'm looking at bulletproof vests online because that's the reality of what is now happening in this community.
Right. Mr. Cross.
Yeah, I know, Zach. Shut the fuck up. I know. I'm done. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
That's something else.
Huh?
For the record, the First Amendment has no
Our,
time limit.
our next resident, Jerry, if you could come up to the podium, state your name and address for the record, please.
So that's the millennials, like you said, what happened in Albania. The millennials, they're had it, right? During COVID, they said the ones that started off doing any kind of small business, they lost all of it. They saw what their parents are going through, what their grandparents are going through, and they're not having it. They're not having it at all. And you saw he was well versed in what he's talking about, and when to bring a federal lawsuit right now, he's saying the timing isn't right. Right, because when they win a lawsuit, it comes from all the people's tax money or all their money. So it's not coming out of their pockets.
That's why they don't give a shit.
That's why they don't give a shit. So
and same thing with the churches, right?
And you heard him, RICO case, right? All these charges, right? So they're on top of it.
Teenager from Clayton, North Carolina says,
"We're not given a voice to stay silent."
this 17-year-old teenager from Clayton, North Carolina says her welcome speech to graduates was cut off by a school administrator after she made these remarks.
I have one last thing to say. Every single person here has a voice, and we are privileged to have the freedom to use it when so many people around the world are struggling and suffering to be heard. Whether it's the millions suffering in Palestine, Sudan, Congo, Afghanistan, and so many other countries around the world, these are the families being torn apart by ICE. These are not distant issues; they are happening right now as I speak.
She came up to me and she's like, "If you don't stop speaking right now, you're not graduating."
That's what Lean Hijaz says the administrator said to her in this moment when she cut off Hijaz's speech. And because of those remarks, unlike the rest of her fellow graduates who picked up their diplomas after the ceremony, Hijaz says she was told,
"You're getting your diploma withheld."
A Johnston County Public Schools spokesperson tells CNN that Hijaz was, quote, awarded her diploma and that her speech was cut off because, quote, school administrators intervened in order to maintain the integrity and focus of the program in real time. This action was not about limiting a student's voice, but about ensuring that a school-sponsored event remained consistent with its intended purpose. JCPS respects students' rights to express their views and encourages thoughtful dialogue in appropriate settings. The district also said the content of graduation speeches is approved by staff ahead of the event. Hijaz says she did not submit her unscripted remarks for approval and that she received her diploma 4 days after graduation. Hijaz says her family and friends have supported her throughout because
My sole purpose of saying everything was to advocate for people.
Advocate for people. Right. But we're in the mindset of America. If it doesn't bother, if it's not affecting you, then we don't care, right? So that's go ahead.
How are they? I've just been sitting here trying to think about how are they going to get the lawmakers, the rule enforcement. Like, it doesn't have to be a cop. Like, it doesn't have to be somebody in a uniform. These people are out there and they just tell you what to do. And I don't know what is it going to take to get them to realize what they're doing.
I don't know.
Well, like that kid said in Albania, it was millennials that did it. Like, that's what they call the honey badgers, right? They're fired up and they're mad. They're upset at the boomers. They're upset with the Gen X. They feel like everything was left on their hands and with
then,
no guidance.
And then you got Trump saying that he's not going to help out with the housing market because it would collapse the prices of people's homes that's already inflated anyway.
So there's got to be a bridge between all of us to reach out to the millennials because they're struggling the worst and they see no future. So they're not gonna put up with this shit no more. They're not, because they're not gonna have a future.
Right.
So what they did was just march them all down the middle of the street.
What, in Albania?
Yeah.
Oh no, they raised hell. Man, they raised hell. They were doing all. They were protesting. They were they got clashed with the police. Everything. Big time.
Right. All over corruption.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it. And then their government actually froze the funds from Kushner and group.
Yes.
Because of corruption and fraud. But yet we allow it here in the United States of APAC.
Yeah, they can't even believe us. They can't believe what we're allowing this. They really can't. They know what's been happening over here. We're just waking up to it.
So is this gentleman right here.
What are you pissed about now?
Same thing 2 years in a row. I got a raise. It was awesome. And Blue Cross Blue Shield got word that I got a raise and said, oh, fuck that. I want all the raise plus $217 a month. Insurance premiums are up 91%. So you get a raise, which is good, and then the insurance is like, fuck you. It's like a cake with nuts in it. It's like free pop, and you get up there, and it's fucking Pepsi. I've already talked about that. It's syrupy, and it tastes like shit. It's like you get out of the shower, you're squeaky clean, and then you're like, oh, I got a shit, mate. And you got fucking diarrhea. You get out of the shower, and you're clean, which is good, and then you get diarrhea, which is bad. And I hope every fucking person at Blue Cross Blue Shield gets diarrhea. Can I hope that?
Oh, nice.
I just hope they get this shit. And it's so bad they have to go to the ER, which is a $250 copay. And while they're standing there in soggy shoes, it looks like the fucking Denny Moore factory had an accident. Like Louis Armstrong meets Montezuma's Revenge, and it turns into a soft serve machine. Fuck those guys. And I hope whatever medicine fixes it isn't covered. I had surgery last year, and I was in such bad pain, the doctor called in a pain suppository. You heard that right, suppository. And it wasn't covered.
What?
If you hurt so bad you're willing to stuff the medicine in your asshole, it should be free.
So true. Oh my God.
It
should be free. Good.
I
Oh,
told
that
y'all
was
this day
hilarious.
was coming. Where everybody loses it.
Yeah.
That's coming.
For real.
What do you mean? So he gets a raise and then his insurance company takes it off.
Yeah.
So what's the point?
It's crazy, isn't it? Crazy.
Just another day in the Matrix. So is this the great American glitch, right? People are glitching out.
They're glitching out. They're acting out.
Starting to glitch.
Some are acting out. Some are remaining willfully ignorant.
Willfully ignorant is like the same thing as like ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
It's like, how long can you claim I didn't know?
Yeah, you can't.
How long can you claim ignorance? Oh, I was ignorant. I didn't know.
Right about now.
What do you mean?
It's not. There's no excuse. It really isn't.
It's okay. You claim ignorance until you realize you're just trapped yourself in an invisible cage and surveillance.
Right. Oh, and I was going to go on that right now. There's that bill that just passed about voter ID.
Yeah.
For
the Save America Act.
Yeah, it's right here.
I mean, shit's getting bad. Even Milli Vanilli canceled the concert.
Okay, so the Save America Act is legislation introduced in Congress that aims to change federal elections rules by adding stricter requirements for voting registration and voter identification. It exists in both House and Senate versions, H.R. 7296, H.R. 22, and S. 3752, all sharing the same core purpose to ensure only U.S. citizens, remember that, U.S. citizens, can register
as
and vote in
federal
elections,
which is the de facto.
Yeah, by requiring documentary proof of citizenship. Okay, so this is what they'll accept. Proof of citizenship requirement states would be prohibited from registering anyone for federal elections unless the person provides documentary proof of U.S. citizenship, either a passport, a real ID, or showing citizenship, military ID with U.S. birthplace, or a government ID plus a certified birth certificate. Mandatory photo ID to vote. Voters would have to show an approved photo ID at the polls. Absentee voters would have to submit a copy of their ID both when they register and when they return the ballot. State verification programs. States must create ongoing programs to identify and remove non-citizens from voter rolls using federal and state data sources. Alternative citizenship process. States must offer an alternative method for applicants who cannot produce standard documents but can still prove citizenship. Penalties and lawsuits. The bill creates criminal penalties for violations and allows private citizens to sue if states fail to enforce the requirements. Okay, so
if states fail to force the requirements. States, so they're trying to trample on states' rights by nationalizing or federalizing the elections
and they're saying
that are rigged.
citizens consume if they don't. These are the real world implications based on the bill's text. Okay, people who normally register using a sworn statement of citizenship would now need physical proof. Mail voting becomes more restrictive. Every absentee voter must include ID copies twice, which could increase ballot rejections. States would face new administration burdens. They must continuously check citizenship status using federal database and purge non-citizens. Non-citizens voting is already illegal. So federal law already prohibits non-citizens from voting in federal elections. The act adds as a new verification layer. So the law was already in place. Now they want more verification.
Well, I want to verify that those machines we're voting on aren't hooked up to the internet.
Supporters argue it would prevent illegal voting. Opponents argue it could block illegal citizens who lack documents or face bureaucratic hurdles. So the impact is the proof of citizenship requires document proof to register, harder to register without a passport or real ID photo. Okay, so the question is, are you a U.S. citizen?
You know what? Honestly, I've never seen any, like all the immigrants. I've never seen one say, "I gotta go out there and vote. You people are not gonna stop." Like I never see, like don't hold me back. You know,
They
like
make it seem like it's the the first thing somebody wants to do when they try to nearly die crossing a border
yeah,
is to
that
go
and
vote. Like Americans don't
yeah.
even vote. How you think immigrants crossing a border are going to want to go vote? They're not retarded.
Yeah, they're coming here to get the SNAP card and they're coming for the vote.
They come here to be checked for an ID at the polling station to vote for.
If they're gonna purge all the rolls, right? Of
Maybe they'll get some of those dead people off there.
They come here to be underpaid.
Right. Think about that. If they're going to purge you off
they
the
can
roll,
vote and pay
if you
double
haven't
amount.
registered,
taxes.
Yeah.
if they're going to purge you off the roll because you're not a U.S. citizen that you have verified, wouldn't that take you out of that jurisdiction then? Or do you want to go breach contract with them?
Right.
Yeah. No,
Because you're a citizen of your state.
I'm not a part of that group, and I don't want to be a part of that group.
Right.
But maybe that's a second level to George Carlin.
Right. So maybe lessons need to be still learned, I guess.
Yeah. Some people just don't. Hey, the slave master ain't going to free the slaves. That's all I know. It's all voluntarily been, and it's done on ignorance. If you want to remain ignorant, you don't know the difference between de facto and de jure. You don't know the difference between
a U.S. citizen and a American citizen.
Or
all right,
citizen of your state, Texan, Floridian, Californian. What is New York, Nadine? New Yorker?
New Yorker.
Oh, a New Yorker?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, bud.
Butter. I don't think that's a word, bud.
A U.S. citizen is a employee.
Oh.
So are you an employee?
Are you in the Book of Dead?
Hell no.
Right.
I don't want to be any part of that clown show.
Are you still identifying with your all caps?
That's why Trump
is all caps.
In all caps.
Trump is all caps.
Corporation.
Working
for the corporation.
There you go. All right, so we had Milli Vanilli, Cancer, the concert, Save America 250. All right, I didn't know they were.
No kidding. That was a real thing.
What?
Milli Vanilli.
Yeah, look.
Milli Vanilli.
Right here.
It kind of looked like Milli Vanilli.
They were going to be a part of the U.S. Corporation
Vanilla
250th
Ice
anniversary.
But that's funny.
I guess Fabrice Fab Morvan, the surviving member of the late 1980s pop duo Milli Vanilli, has pulled out of the Freedom 250. Then I went, wait, why is Milli Vanilli? Then it reminded me of this video.
Girl, you know it's true. I love you.
And I went, wait, he does kind of look like him.
He does.
Because one of them is a lighter skin.
Yes, you know it's true.
Yeah, probably get copyright on that one.
Some
That's
one
better.
of them supposedly passed.
Yeah, one of them. I think it's maybe suicide or something like that. Okay. All right, check this out.
Lakes.
Yeah, sea salt's over here.
I want you to explain this to me because every time I say something about sea salt, people think I have freaking lost my mind.
Okay.
And so I'm like, okay, so they're one of those big.
Those super. This is all sea salt. This has got garlic in it. This has got added selenium, but it's all the same. It's sea salt, and this has got iodine. So if you're having feet problems, they need the iodine. If you're having health problems, you know the selenium 90, or if you're having fly problems, the garlic that's got added garlic in it.
I'm going to have to load up. Yes, I can. I'm going to have to load up on some of this and give it to my longhorns.
So
what is this?
This is just the regular sea salt, and then this is in the super sack right here. So
this is Redmond brand.
Yeah, it's Redmond sea salt. It's the same as you eat in a salt shaker. So
oh my
taste
goodness!
That. I mean, you taste it. It tastes just like what you eat on a table. But that's what we're fertilizing our pasture with.
And you just
broadcast it.
Broadcast
just
it
like you do regular fertilizer. See the mineral in it there. There's 66 trace elements in sea salt. Every heart doctor in the world will tell you not to eat salt, right? They're talking about white salt. You put white salt on that ground and kill everything. You go to any health food store in America, what do they got in there?
Redmond sea salt.
Sea salt. Sea salt's good for you. It'll grow grass. There's 66 trace elements in it that your ground needs. It also puts conductivity back in your soil. So to move nutrients under the ground, it has to have conductivity. There's electrolysis moving minerals back and forth. So if the plant over here needs nitrogen or potash or DAP, it can pull it from 4, 5, 6 feet away, but it's got to have electrolysis in the soil to move that, which is what the salt does. If you think about it, every trace element runs back to the ocean at some point, right?
Yeah.
Well, why aren't we bringing it and putting it back on our soil?
Right.
Because we're an idiocracy, and J.D. Rockefeller couldn't profit off of that.
Yeah, he said Redmond salt. Yes, Redmond sea salt. It looked like he had the coarse kind, but yeah, that makes sense. That's awesome.
Yeah, see it right here. Here's the coarse. See it. I mean, he even ate it.
Oh yeah, it's good for us. Like he said, the iodized salt, the white one that you get, like the cheap, that's not good for you. But the real sea salt is really good.
So it has.
It helps with your headache too. We put it under
Yes.
your tongue. Yeah, I had no idea. I got migraines most of my life, and now it's that simple.
Yes.
Another key thing he says.
Nutrients under the ground, it has to have conductivity.
It has to have conductivity. Are we talking about electrical grids and the battery, which is the earth? Now you add copper to that.
What are they making those new batteries with sea salt? They have, well, I don't know if they're here yet, but in one of the other countries, forget what country, I posted a while back, they're making batteries made with sea salt.
Right. Well, they could turn a light on with a lemon.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There's electrolysis moving minerals back and forth. So if the plant over here needs
what's electrolysis? They don't talk about that in farming.
Yeah.
Nope, just put those fertilizers on there from China on your land because China loves you.
I think this is a new way of doing the farming.
Yeah, you got to go back to
the ancient
the roots.
knowledge. Yes.
Why not put sea salt?
Yeah.
If it doesn't harm and it actually does something good, especially in the conductivity in the soil. It needs nitrogen.
Nitrogen or potash or DAP, it can pull it from
Potash.
4, 5, 6 feet away, but it's got to have electrolysis in the
Electrolysis. There's electricity word again. Wow.
And the potash. I did that one time on my garden. I did put some of the leftover from barbecuing. I put the ashes. They put it on the garden, and it works good.
soil to move that, which is what the salt does. If you think about it, every trace element runs back to the ocean at some point, right?
Yeah.
Well, why aren't we bringing it and putting it back on our soil?
Because it's not approved by the government. J.D. Rockefeller doesn't.
Well, that's why. That's what I was reading. With Trump, was loosening the regulations
right
for the farmers, so probably they could do that probably.
Big bag. Look at that.
Because it's been regulated so heavily, they couldn't do other stuff unless it was approved.
There it is. Right in the garden.
That one's looks darker.
Put that in your garden. Tell me how it works. Sprinkle a little bit.
Another day in the Matrix. I just feel like being such a good wife today. Let's clean the whole house. First, I'll use Clorox wipes. This is one of the Matrix favorites because it'll over-sanitize our immune system, wreck our hormones and fertility, and it's a neurotoxin all in one. Next, I'll use one of the most toxic cleaners for your home, bleach. The fact that people use this to clean their home is actually crazy. With chlorine gas, chloroform, and dioxins, these are actual poisons used to kill people. And America wants you to use this and pour it all over your home. Are you guys getting it yet? We love our Matrix detergents and dryer sheets that keep our clothes smelling fresh and clean. It's just at the cost of carcinogens, endocrine disruptors, and gases that are toxic for our lungs and brain. But hey, at least we'll smell like April breeze.
Then we make sure to spray our grass with glyphosate to make sure we increase risk for cancer for all the kids and pets that run through our yard. And then the same company that makes this can sell us the cancer treatment.
Good for business. It's job security. So we can raise money to fight cancer. Right? And everything that comes with that. All right, so I had no idea thistle was edible until this video stopped me in my tracks. Thistle has completely taken over my property for years. I've spent more weekends than I could count hacking them down, cursing every prickly little inch, and then dumping weed killer like they were the enemy. Then I watched her walk straight into the field, slice a stalk with zero hesitation, peel back the armor, and bite right into the sweet inner core like it's something she's done her whole life. Now, I'm staring at the weeds in my yard completely differently. Have I been fighting a free wild food buffet this entire time? Yep.
Yeah.
Or is this one of those things smarter people leave to the pros? Who here has actually tried eating thistle? I have. Actually, I've got some for the neighbors the other day. Because we have fields of, they allow these fields over here to grow out. So it lets all the wild flower stuff grow without somebody mowing it down and weed eating it.
Yeah, bull thistle. Yeah.
Bull thistle, that's what she's fixing to get from. And then you add what, vinegar and salt or something to pepper to the bull thistle. Have y'all tried this? I know they eat it in Louisiana. We eat it here as well.
The last time I was out here, I was showing y'all that you can eat green briars, and today
This is the plant our neighbor kid brought to me.
Yeah.
He's like, can you eat this? I said,
I was
yes.
like, yeah, that's
Actually, if you got to cut all those prickly things off, though. I
Yeah,
said, you got
they are
more of
prickly.
this? He says, yeah, there's more out there. I said, shit. Let's go get it.
I'm going to show you can eat thistles. Let me give you a better look at them.
It tastes like celery.
This is a thistle plant. Do you see how spiky and awful they are?
Yeah, watch out because you'll get poked.
Yeah, they're very pokey. But yeah, you can eat the stalk. It's like a celery, and you put it in a salad or saute it. It's really good.
There's not a clean spot on that plant to grab it. Typically, these plants have a...
I have to go in there with welding gloves up to my forearm.
I know. I'm surprised he picked it. All those things.
But the best thing to do is, I guess she's probably fixing to show you here.
Purple flower on the top. These are starting to bud out, but they're not quite there yet. I picked these plants specifically because they aren't mature yet. You want one that's not too small and not too big because they are very tender unless you get one that's too big or like really tiny. So let's chop these down and I'll show you how to eat them. I chopped the head off of it first.
A machete would be good.
Yes.
A sharp one.
Oh yeah.
Okay, here it is. I'm going to clean it up a little bit better. Thistles are really a nuisance. They grow whether you want them to or not. And on our farm, we usually kill them. But they're still here. There's really no killing them. These grow on the sides of the roads. They're everywhere. So keep that in mind that you can eat them. These are like a mixture between a cucumber, ow, I missed one, and a celery stick. And this outer layer, you just peel off. I'm actually going to peel it like a carrot. Because the inside part is what's really tender. This is such a Cajun thing to do, but who says we can't do this in Arkansas? You can eat it just like this. Or, I'm actually going to pick some more. I'm going to take these home. The Cajuns really like to put vinegar and salt and pepper over these. I have a great recipe for refrigerator pickles. I've never tried refrigerator pickles with these. So I have a couple stalks. I'm gonna sit here and cut about a bowl full so I can go home and make my refrigerator pickles out of my thistle stalks. So if you guys want to see that, I'll post a second video. So just remember, the next time you're hungry, you can eat a thistle. All you gotta do is peel it.
Sure, that one.
There we go.
Sea salt one.
Yeah, once you discover the plants growing in your area and you realize what it is, then you start seeing it everywhere and you go, holy shit, there is an abundance.
Yeah, everywhere.
There's an abundance everywhere. Let me find that video. You want the one?
The sea salt one and this one.
Let me go get it. Sea salt one. I think I closed it out.
Yeah, it did taste like a celery. Cow. I cooked it for that. Well, I chopped it up like you do celery, up a little olive oil, a little bit of vinegar, and some sea salt. And I gave him some. He ate it, and he was like, He didn't look too. It wasn't like his thing, I guess, but he enjoyed it. It was pretty good. This page.
Hold on. All right, let me get the link for you for that. Here's the farmers. Hold on. I wish I should have closed it out. I just looked at the chat. Oh, here it is. You have to give me a second. Can you find it? It says the farmers with the sea salt in the chat. All right. What are we doing right here?
Hey, check this out. James Madison, the father of the Constitution, wrote that the powers delegated by the proposed Constitution to the federal government are few and defined. Let me say that again. Few and defined.
The powers delegated by the proposed Constitution to the federal government are few and defined. Those which are to remain in the state governments are numerous and indefinite.
So we the people grant servants in the federal government power, and they're few and defined. Article 1, Section 8 of the United States Constitution, we the people grant Congress 18 powers and no more. And there's no grant of power over the private affairs of we the people. So if there's no grant of power listed in Article 1, Section 8, there is no power. It don't exist. So let me ask you, is our servants in government using powers that aren't listed in the Constitution? Hell yeah, they are. And they're all committing treason because they've implied jurisdiction over the private lives of we the people. Your life, your liberty, your property, your pursuit of happiness. Government has no authority, no jurisdiction, and no grant of power over any constitutional rights in any of the 50 state constitutions or federal. So what we got is a bunch of lying criminals abusing power, overextending power, and invading your private life. They have 100% failed their chief design.
Text of Section 2. Promotion of general welfare natural rights of persons equality under the law purpose of government. That all constitutional government is intended to promote the general welfare of the people, that all persons have a natural right to life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, and the enjoyment of the gains of their own industry, that all persons are created equal and are entitled to equal rights and opportunity under the law, that to give security to these things is the principal office of government, and that when government does not confer this security, it fails in its chief design.
All right, let me get this link for you. Share it in the chat. This channel, what's this channel? Brandon Hodge, Brandon Hoy, Hoeye on Facebook. See it right there.
All the darkness is fine.
Right here.
Hey, check.
Go to the channel. Right here. Here we go. Brandon Hoy, Hoeye. Shout out.
It's like TikTok.
On TikTok. Here's the link. Let me get you the link to the channel. Get that shared. So I'm gonna hype the channel. It's what you call hyping the channel. Right? Is how we support each other and get the word out about other channels.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that guy.
So
I like how he speaks. Like all the favorites, they all have like a certain way about them.
Yeah.
right, they're not talking all crazy and bitching and moaning or whatever.
Yeah.
They're just straight to the point. Here it is. We got the power. The people have to wake up to how far we've fallen and the power, what the authority that we've given to a bunch of people that don't. Walmart. What did Mike say? You gave up your authority to a bunch of people that work at McDonald's.
Yeah.
A corporation. That's why I keep telling the people, you go back and read your state constitutions. I know Texas state constitution says all power is inherent in the people. Right? I share this often. And when people wake up and show up in numbers and speak out, speak up, shit starts changing. Mountains start moving. A mountain can't move until you tell it to move. Right? It's even in the Bible. How's a mountain going to move if the mouth shut? You know? So I just thank God everybody's realizing that you don't need guns or a Second Amendment or anything like that. You just need to open your minds back up, free your mind, and take back your power and your authority and your right place in this world. Not as a peasant, right? But as a child of the Creator, a citizen in His kingdom or her kingdom, however you want to put it.
Kingdom that's not of this world, because it's spiritual, not a physical.
All right, Bill of Rights. Texas Constitution, Bill of Rights. Right here, Article 162, inherent political power, republican form of government, all political powers inherent in the people, and all free governments are founded on their authority and instituted for their benefit. We're talking about the people, not the corporation. The faith of the people of Texas stands pledged to the preservation of a republican form of government, and subject to this limitation only, they have at all times the inalienable right to alter, reform, or abolish their government in such manner as they may think expedient. Look up the definition of expedient. That'll tell you what the hell that means, right? Freedom of worship, religious service protections, you get all kinds of stuff in the Bill of Rights. No person, right? Religious tests. So there you go. That's empowering the people, power back to the people, power to the people. Power is always, and the authority's always been in the people. We just forgot, or we've been psychologically manipulated over time to where we
let it flip on us.
That guy, let me see if I got that. Real quick. So upload this. Go. We sound away.
We should celebrate, dance, and clap our hands because we are watching Babylon fall. Maybe it's time we start thanking our ancestors for helping us with this battle. These people don't like us. In fact, they hate us because we have something they don't have, a spirit. Let's start with all the medication they give us. Not good. How about Monsanto? All the unhealthy foods. Can't forget about the fluoride in our water. Let's not forget about the Freemason cartoons where they put these fake stories out over and over because they overstand a certain knowledge that we forgot. We create things when we observe it. Whatever we look at, it look back at us. Life is nothing but a mirror. This video is about to get a little dark and a little deep. Stay with me. Every child can see into the spiritual world. They can talk to the ancestors and God. Why do you think they come after the children? Because they overstand if they torture the children, the child will lose their spiritual connection. Everything is dealing with the spiritual world. The so-called elites overstand that our subconscious mind is a recorder. It records everything. Our subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between fake and real. So if we sit back and watch news clips of them speaking about the world coming to an end, our subconscious mind will manifest that. If we watch a rated R movie when someone is dying, guess what? Our spirit believe someone is really dying. These people don't have no power.
So y'all hear that? I want to pause it right and go back. Listen to this.
Coming to an end, our subconscious mind tell the difference between fake and real. So if we sit back and watch news clips of them speaking about the world coming to an end, our subconscious.
Or if you're at a church and they're talking about the end times over and 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 over until you manifest it. Now we're sitting here looking at the end times
Yeah,
scenarios
bro.
playing out
It's
right
a
before
script,
you. You can be careful what you ask for.
Conscious mind will manifest that. If we watch a rated R movie when someone is dying, guess what? Our spirit believe someone is really dying. These people don't have no power, no energy, no light. All they have is influence. For a prime example, if my rent was due and I took a handful of cotton and try to pay my landlord with cotton, the landlord will say, no, you can't pay it with that. We need money. But did you know that money is made out of cotton? 75% to be exact. So cotton is worth more money than paper money. And if these people come on TV and say, you need me, we're going to change this, we're going to do another bill, you're going to believe it. Money don't have no real power. But if they convince you that money had power, guess what? It has power. Just how they convinced us that they had power. No, they have influences. Only have a great influence on weak people that have not connected to their spiritual self. Everything is designed to keep you away from your higher self. We are not sick. We're being poisoned. We are not sick. We are being poisoned. We are not being led. We are being distracted. So we won't understand that we are being poisoned by the toxic media. Everything is designed to kill your spirit because the people that control this world, they don't have a spirit. With everything that's taking place right.
That's why they say test the spirit.
Test the
Nobody wants to test the spirit. You know, they didn't teach us that. They just,
like Jim Burr was saying, they don't ever preach love. They don't have that spirit. They have a
you want them to feed the
they're
homeless?
materialistic Satanist material. They're self-serving.
The black pillar. They're the real black pillars.
They don't create. They only take our creations and make money off of it.
Right. Shark Tank.
Yeah, exactly.
Shark Tank is a prime example of that.
Yes, exactly.
Y'all remember Shark Tank? The people that build the data centers now because they love us.
They love us.
Yeah,
They
they
love us.
offer them a deal, right? And
They
then
want
they
what's
make
best.
money off. You get a small percentage, and they make all this money off of it. But it's off of somebody else's creation. When they could have just done that themselves, they might not get it spread out there as fast. But in the long run, they would have been the millionaires, not keep the millionaires keep being billionaires and trillionaires, right?
Didn't you know somebody that was on the Shark Tank?
Yeah, my friend, her sister was making those bags. I forget what they were called. They were makeup bags that zip on the side. They gave me a couple of them, but she was on the Shark Tank, and they gave her a good deal, and then didn't turn out to be a good deal in the end. It was pretty cool. But they were called MJ makeup junkie bags.
Makeup junkie bags.
Yeah,
Shark Tank.
They
Go
were
look it
pretty
up.
cool.
All right, here
And
we go.
she made them handmade, and they gave them out as Christmas gifts, and then they just went like hotcakes, and then she went Shark Tank, and yeah, she got screwed on that.
Yeah, they're sharks.
Yeah.
Nikola Tesla's cool, but there's a reason we know about him. Like, there's a reason everyone hears about his name. And partially the reason we know about him is what his tech did to empower a lot of the bad guys. And unfortunately, it's true, a lot of the stuff he discovered didn't empower good people, right? And even where people are like free energy, but where is that energy coming from on the earth? The deeper you look into Tesla, the more you realize he was just a neutral person. And I'm not saying anything bad about him. I would prefer a Nikola Tesla world than the modern world we have today. But there was someone named John Keeley, and Rudolf Steiner was good friends with him. And basically the whole point is he created devices that were charged by human emotions. So based upon your level of morality or your consciousness level. So if you were considered an immoral person, right? You were hyper materialistic, you wouldn't be able to charge the device. So people were actually in the room with John Keeley and were able to see this work in time. And then you could have immoral people, the device literally won't work for them. So think about that. We literally have a solution to replace electricity and all this stuff, but the only requirement is you have to be a good person. So isn't that worth it to like stop abusing the earth? We know what AI is doing. We know how much resources it's wasting. We know, well, and even further, if you understand what electricity is doing. So the whole like light, like think about how much people who like nature think about electromagnetism, electricity. But electricity from a spiritual perspective, not modern day science, from a spiritual perspective, is related to the underworld. It is related to a dead, fallen form, a shadow of the light, related to Lucifer, technically, right? And Lucifer is not, I'm not trying to say it's all bad, but my whole point, it's related to this fallen angel. It's not necessarily a good quality, because light originally is consciousness, or like this form of awareness. So when we're calling nature electromagnetic and the electron, and we're trying to say that's light, we're literally telling people the anti-logos, the opposite of light, is light. So if you think about it esoterically, what's going on? Well, this electrified energy, it's technically negative, and as Steiner would call it, it's a little demon. And so when we're using devices that are powered by electrified or their electricity, it's this false light, right? It's increasing our desires. So have you ever noticed when you're on your device too much, certain desires get stronger and stronger? So that's what they meant. It's like you go into a trance state, you forget 3-4 hours went by. Where did your willpower go? Where's your imagination going? Where's your thinking going? You're literally leaving your body. Where are you going? So in that state, they're saying in the subatomic worlds, these beings are harvesting your energy through these devices. Talk about black mirrors and symbols, and no one's talking about this stuff. You got people, Epstein, Diddy, ICE. What about literally your energy being harvested through your device because it's hyper over electrified? And there's already other solutions. Even if we were doing Teslas, it would be better than being electrified. But you guys don't even know this stuff. Isn't this hilarious? So you get electrified by this negative energy, and it increases the desires within you. You know what else it does, right? So if you think of nature in an electromagnetic way, what does that mean? Well, you're tuning into the Luciferic kingdom. You're not actually tuning into the angelic kingdom. So what's happening is Lucifer, and then what they call Ahriman rules materialism. It creates this alternative world where you become your own God. So now with your phone, you have the ability to find anything, search for anything. My whole point, what people think of as nature now is science. So how are you connected to the light or consciousness or the higher imagination, the higher thinking, when all your thinking is being inspired by your device? Did you meditate on the idea and let God come to you? Or did you get inspired by your device? So who's telling you how to think? The within or the light that's glowing from your phone? So back to the point, this is why things like John Keeley are really important, because when we're being hyper electrified, the truth is no one's gonna act on what they're saying. They're just gonna keep saying it and saying it and saying it and demonizing the patriarch, demonizing the masculine. But discernment is important. Black magic got you.
Right? So, like he's talking about, Tesla had a device that would go off your energy, right? Like if you're good or bad, right? Why couldn't that be possible? We could do that, right? Like you said, they're demonizing the masculinity. It's not good, right? So, what you listen to.
I think I learned more from TikTok videos now.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff.
Well, like you said, are you getting your information from your phone or source?
Oh, I do half and half.
Balance it out, right?
Yeah.
Stop. Don't be on there. Try not to be on there all day.
Oh, and Bud. I get it from Bud too.
Get outside, do something.
Yeah.
Find a project.
Have the right
Welcome
to
to the
travel.
show.
Glad to be here.
Charlie, do you have a driver's license?
No, sir, I haven't. I don't drive commercially.
You don't drive commercially, I see. So you don't need a driver's license?
If you're not being paid, there's no need for a driver's license.
So if I was getting paid to haul goods and services, or I was a taxi driver,
you would have to have a driver's license. That's commerce.
that's commerce. But you don't drive in commerce, so you haven't had a driver's license for how many years, Charlie?
37 years.
What happens, Charlie, when the police pull you over and they think you're speeding or you didn't signal?
Well, now they just shake their finger at me or tell me to have a nice day.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir.
Well, let's see. I was a cop. I pull up. I say, "May I see your driver's license, please?"
I don't have one.
Why don't you have one? You're driving a car.
I don't want one. And I'm not driving. I'm traveling.
I see. Well, what if I just take you to jail?
Fine with me. But we'll be hooked to the hip. We'll be hooked at the hip for the next 5 years in federal court.
In federal court. So you're going to sue me, the police officer, if I take you to jail because you don't have a driver's license?
Yes, sir.
I think the judge will rule in my favor.
I don't think so.
Oh, so that's how it goes.
That's how it goes.
And you had one of those cases, Charlie, didn't you?
I filed suit in 1975 against 16 state officials, including Governor Reagan and all of their wives.
And all of their wives?
Yes, sir. When the officer pulls his red lights on you, he's declaring an emergency. That's a felony when there is no emergency. So he's already violated his job oath of office when he turns his red lights on to stop you. And then in my case, if he interferes with my right to travel, he's violating the Constitution of the United States.
Wow.
He becomes an imposter in the office of, he becomes a imposter in his office. And therefore he's taking his wages under false pretenses. And that's fraud.
And you've taken people to court?
Yes, sir.
Have the right.
Including government. Yeah, but you didn't hear that on Fox.
Oh, that's a good video.
Yeah, I heard that a while back. That the guy had the
Sued Reagan and all of his
police
money.
handbook, or it said they can't turn on their lights unless it's emergency. Someone's hurt.
Yeah, I tried saying that to the trooper, lights and the siren, and he looked at me like I had 3 heads.
Yeah, and it's a felony for them to do so.
Well, because he's got to claim ignorance.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
or you think he's going to openly admit that he doesn't give a shit
No.
about his oath of office?
Admit to nothing.
This is what you do with this. Go ahead.
There comes a time when ignorance is no excuse.
I know.
Yeah. I'm
Officer,
putting that back
ignorance is-
home.
And we're at
No
that
excuse.
time.
This is that look when you're talking to a police officer and you're about the Constitution, it gives you the deer in the headlights look.
After he
Well-
just ran a deer over because he was doing 100 miles an hour to get nowhere.
Let me
You
share
know,
this.
they speed all over creation. They don't use turn signals. They've got a computer open at all times. They don't wear a seatbelt. It's like do as I say, not as I do. And my mom never got away with that. So why am I going to let these guys do it?
I've shared that link in the chat. So this is World War II. Everything you learned in school about World War II was a lie. Of course, we know that, right? It's not news here. So here's an older book this guy found right here called History of World War II.
I really believe this is the smoking gun of all smoking guns. And I believe it's just been overlooked by revisionists and truth tellers. This right here is the so-called Official History of World War II Armed Services Memorial Edition. In other words, it was compiled, put together, and published by the Americans, the American military, and issued to American service members. And it was right at 1945 when it was copyrighted. So barely the end of the war, this was the very first book ever published from the Allies about World War II. And it has extensive, detailed history of all the battles and in Egypt and Africa and Europe and Japan, and just goes on and on. However, the one thing, as much as it's obviously going to be anti-German and, pushing the evil barbarian Nazi narrative, this is the very first book written by the Allies about World War II, published by the United States military, and not one single mention, not one, of gas chambers or Holocaust or anything like that, ovens, nothing like that in there. Now, don't you think if this is the very first book ever published about World War II and put out by the Allies, there would be all sorts of atrocity propaganda in it? There's not. I have thoroughly looked at this. There is not one mention of liberating camps or anything like that from a alleged Holocaust. And this, like I said, you can find this book online. There's a lot of them out there. This is the very first book ever written about World War II, ever. And written and published by the United States military. And it's for service members. You can see here, it even says service record. You know, this was written for actual service members who fought in World War II. Literally. Not one mention of gas chambers, not one mention of shrunken heads, none of that. There's nothing at all. Now, don't you think there was any truth to that? This book would have it in there? I mean, you know, it's very derogatory towards Germans. It describes them as murderers, barbarians, you know, and everything you would expect the American military to say. But there is nothing in here about rounding up Jews, killing Jews, gas chambers, you know, any of that. None of that's in here. They don't even talk about labor camps in here at all. I really think this is a very important piece of history to recognize when observing things from the perspective of the truth. This is just 100% absolute proof that the Holocaust narrative wasn't fabricated until years after. This was put out in 1945 by the U.S. military, describing every single battle that they fought in Europe and Japan and elsewhere in what is known as World War II. And not one single mention of a gas chamber or anything like that. This is critical right here. I was going to put this in my next episode of 100 Proofs, but I think I just wanted to put this video out so people are aware of it. You can find this book all over Amazon and Google and everything else. I mean, it's pretty common. It ranges from $17 to $40. I think I got this one at Goodwill for maybe $5. But yeah. Now, I don't know if there's been another version, but you know, they might have updated it in the 50s or 60s and added the Holocaust. But this right here, you know, the fact that it was in 1945 issued by the military and for the military and no Holocaust in here, I think this is a valuable proof that's been overlooked and people need to know about. Thank you.
That book.
All right, then call it the Holocaust.
Holocaust. Holocaust.
Yeah, this one I found one on eBay. It's $34.99.
The what?
Found one where?
It on eBay. It's $34.99.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, you got to get the blue one, I guess. I did find another one. It was like $4. So when he said it's like whatever to whatever, that $4 wasn't cutting it. So I went back and I added service memorial edition, and that's what it was.
You know what's crazy is we're paying reparations for this to these people. Y'all know
Yeah.
that, right?
Yeah.
You know they've been getting reparations since.
Oh, I know. Yeah, everything paid for.
Here's a 1968 Encyclopedia Britannica. This is a full 23 after the war ended, yet no entry for the Holocaust, is what he called it.
All right, this is just absolutely insane. I mean, once again, we think we comprehend these numbers, we think we understand it, but truly we don't until somebody breaks it down even further. Great work here, Parody Jeff, because I did not comprehend the $3.8 billion in this way until I saw your post. $434,000 per hour. This is insane. I want everybody out there who's a working class member of this society. Every time you have to leave your family to go to work and spend all day at work, they're stealing your money so they can send it right over here. So don't think about this in terms of just money. Think about this in representation of the amount of time that you are having stolen away from you and your family so they can send that time over here to places like this. This is insane. $434,000 per hour. I don't even know what to say right now. We're $39 trillion in debt, mind you. Just remember that too. All right, this is just absolutely.
So since we've been doing this show, we've sent nearly $1 million to Israel in the last 2 hours. According to this, 434,000 per hour, based on the current 3.8 billion annual U.S. military aid to Israel. This is all the way to 2028 at least to get 3.8 plus missile defense. That's a lot of money. So U.S. taxpayers dump $434,000 every single hour into Israel. No wonder why Israelis get free health care and housing. And that's why Trump has a 99% approval rating in Israel and not here in America. Because it's Israel first, America last. Wait. It's Israel first is America first. Sorry. I didn't know. I thought it was America first was America first. Until after the 2024 election, then I woke up real quick and realized it's America first is Israel first.
Yeah, it's good to use their AI against them. Good old Grok.
A property Jeffrey Epstein used to own. The Epstein Truth Commission is aiming to get more answers about Zorro Ranch, the massive mansion that once belonged to the late convicted sex offender. Scripps News senior national correspondent Alex Miller listened into that hearing. Alex, what did you hear today?
Well, Andrew, this was really the first official meeting. It lasted less than an hour, but it was an opportunity for the commission to lay out its plans. It's a 4-person commission, 2 Democrats and 2 Republicans in that state legislature, and they've got some pretty specific deadlines that they need to meet. And so today was an opportunity for them to list out their goals, which are to make sure that they turn over every stone to figure out exactly why there wasn't a proper investigation done into Zorro Ranch, why people were allowed to come and go and allegedly commit the crimes that we've heard from so many survivors seen in these documents. But also we got an opportunity to hear from survivors and their families. There's really just one survivor who lives in the state of New Mexico. Her name is Rachel, and she spoke about her experiences. And we also heard from Virginia Roberts Giuffre, the late survivor. We heard from her brother and sister-in-law, and they talked about the fact that so many of the times that Virginia says she was abused happened at Zorro Ranch. They say that essentially she paid the price for systems who for so long did not believe survivors. Her brother speaking very eloquently. He's emotional every time. Actually, both of them are. Every time they talk about her experiences. Listen to what he said.
Virginia was not only abused by Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. She was trafficked to extremely wealthy, powerful, and dangerous individuals. Some of that trafficking happened right here in New Mexico at Zorro Ranch. That is not speculation. That is not rumor. That is testimony. And New Mexico now stands at crossroads. This state can either repeat the failures we have already witnessed across institutions and protected power over people, or New Mexico can lead.
And Andrew, we know that federal investigations happened in both Florida and in New York. They did not happen in New Mexico. And this is something that Sky and Amanda Roberts touched on as they spoke, saying that they are hopeful here in this scenario that there is a meaningful separation between state and federal government. They said when a survivor feels as though the federal government has wronged them, that the state government can step in and conduct its own investigation, which is what we're seeing here. So they essentially were saying that they're hopeful that something will come from this. When you look at the way that Congress is handling its investigation and the way that other states, the federal government has handled it in those states, they really have left New Mexico out until this point.
Yeah, so Alex, what happens next for this commission?
Well, they have a deadline of July 31st to get some sort of report together. And then the final report is supposed to be in December. Now, I interviewed one of the representatives on this committee, Representative Andrea Reed. Now, she told me that there's a possibility that they need more resources, that they are not going to be done by this point. But they came out today with 14 subpoenas. Now, they're not for specific people, but if you look at the list, which we have here for you, it's the estate of Jeffrey Epstein, the FBI, the DOJ, the DOJ's offices in New Mexico, and the state's Department of Justice, as well as many banks. There are a lot of groups, organizations, entities that there are questions about the roles that they played in the survivors being brought, then young girls being brought to Zorro Ranch. So there's a lot that they want to cover that. They have subpoena power. But they were also very clear when I spoke to Representative Reed myself. She said that she is prepared to name names if she feels as though there's somebody involved. They are prepared to refer this to the Department of Justice. Anytime they're getting survivors coming forward, they are sending them to the Department of Justice in case they want to pursue legal action in the future. They say that they're going to hold these survivors' stories anonymously if for some reason they don't. But one other thing that they said was that they're going to issue formal referrals to New Mexico, Florida, New York, the U.S. Virgin Islands, and other relevant international jurisdictions, and that they're planning to make full legislative recommendations. At the time that Jeffrey Epstein lived in New Mexico, he did not have to register as a convicted sex offender, and that is still the law on the books today. So there are small changes that they think will make a big difference that they are hoping to put into place. But they, like I said, Andrew, they are planning to name people. They say people who were involved, people who were enablers, and those whose inaction contributed to this.
And that's why people are going to go into bunkers. Rich people are buying islands. Peter Thiel's leaving. Ivanka Trump's leaving. I don't even think Ivanka Trump is even here. Everybody's have plans for something to boil over here in the States.
I think they went back there during COVID, or maybe sooner. Maybe they've always been down in there.
Let Ivanka finish up.
Swam to the islands. We went on a hike barefoot all the way up to the top, and we were just captivated. And it stayed with us ever since. And over the course of many years, we developed the opportunity to help realize its potential and transform it, but with a lot of restraint and care, because the land is so beautiful that
What she's saying is she drove through a poor community and felt so heartbroken about what's going on in America that she decided her and Kushner were going to be humanitarians and help America first. No, that's not what she's
By
saying.
going over there and living in a
That's not
bunker?
what she's saying. She's going to go get an island with her billions of dollars and do rich people shit and hide in bunkers and shit away from us because something's coming.
that really
By the way, stop.
Right. So this is the issue. How American is this? That Trump is talking about make America great again. Well, apparently Ivanka doesn't feel that that's what he's doing herself because she's not wanting to stay here. And Peter Thiel and her husband and everybody
She
else.
was on the young leaders of
The World Economic Forum. Yeah. Globalist. She's a globalist.
So was Tulsi Gabbard too.
Yeah, Tulsi. And
I think
Dan
Mark
Crenshaw.
was it Mark Rubio? I'm not sure.
Wasn't JD Vance there too, and Elon?
Yeah. Yep.
This is causing
land is so beautiful that really.
By the way, stop it for a minute.
All right.
This is causing riots in Albania. They're rioting over this. They're burning down the head of the Albania. They just burned down that guy's house. He's the prime minister or the leader or something? The president? What is he? I don't know.
Think about that. You get your house burnt down if you participate in corruption against the people in Albania. But in America, we just run out and vote for you again.
That's what they did in remember that guy Barbecue?
Yeah, barbecue in Haiti.
Yeah, they did the same thing.
Yeah.
And they ran the rich people in their houses out of their houses.
Let me tell y'all something. The prisoners run the prison. The guards are just there for an illusion. It's an illusion to think that they have control over the prison. The prisoners in every prison run the prisons. Okay? And when the prisoners wake up and realize that they could come together and
make some moves.
And that they only had 2 or 3 guards watching over 5,000 people,
Then it's on.
Yeah, they just burned down his house because they were like, we've had enough of this. So we're not going to watch the rest of it. We know what she's saying. We get it. They're buying, rich people are just buying islands, and we're doing it with care. We're doing it with so much care because here's what, folks, this is what that means. They're getting out. If they can't get on a spaceship off the country. They're going to the middle of the Mediterranean Sea. Inside Sazan Island, the Albanian ex-military base that Ivanka Trump and Jared Kushner want to turn into a luxury resort. The data centers, by the way, you dummies, are not prisons for people that did the vaccine, you QAnon retards. They are data centers, and they're gonna try to take your livelihood. The other thing is they're probably not building a luxury resort. They're going to build something that looks like a luxury resort and then live in it when there's a nuclear war. And that's what it is. They want you to root for them. They want you to be excited for them and happy for them because they made it out. Rich people are probably not going to be able to get off the planet before it inevitably emoliates. But they are going to flee to the middle of the ocean if they can. Nevertheless, Sazan has already been dubbed Trump Island by angry locals who have made their displeasure and reported a deal clear. Below, we take a closer look at the island with its 3,600 nuclear bunkers, unexploded weapons, bomb shelters, and miles of tunnels. So here's the reality. Everybody's preparing. Everybody's preparing, from Spencer Pratt to Mark D'Amelio. Everybody's doing what they have to do. He's lifting, taking a little bit off the top, skimming from his daughter. And Jared and Ivanka have decided to buy a nuclear bunker in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea because they know something's coming. They don't only know it's coming, they're making it happen. That's the thing. They're not sitting in the dark. They know that all of this tension eventually boils over. The Henry Nowak stuff, the affordability crisis in America, the food, the cost of oil. In the next 6 months, things are going to skyrocket and make this an unlivable place financially. And your only way out, if you're in America, your only way out, you better hope your kid can shake their ass on a Chinese dancing app for money. Or if you're Spencer Pratt, you better grab the gas can. Good luck.
Their moves didn't say that America's going to be great. So it's going to be destabilized. That's what they're doing, to destabilizing the economy with the war. They're really in a war on our economy. That's why the prices are getting so high. The silent war. But let them flee to the mountains. They can't hide. Ain't that what the scripture says? They'll flee to the mountains.
Yeah. Oh, this time they went underground. I
Oh,
last time they went.
They went underground into the mountains.
Right. Yeah, they all have bunkers. They all had bunkers, all of them.
Well, we got bunker busters. I don't know why they don't understand they got bunker busters.
No, I don't think they. I don't know what. Maybe they thought we would. None of us would be here. They thought something was happening. Maybe it didn't. So they're kind of like stuck down there now. Like maybe they were expecting something during COVID and it didn't happen.
I guess they expected all of us to take the vaccine, but they forgot we have the only reason that 100% of America isn't vaccinated is because we have the Second Amendment, I believe.
Well, not
So
only
they can't
that,
force you to do that.
I think they were going to maybe send a frequency or something.
Right.
Maybe it didn't happen. Maybe
Right.
it got stopped by higher powers. Maybe. I'm just thinking that obviously they didn't expect us to be here, or not a lot of us.
They're like, wait.
They went underground.
Wait. Abort.
Yeah.
To the Albanians over here. The Albanians are now going to the construction sites of Kushner and Trump's family and all these oligarchs, and they're destroying the vehicles. Soon they're going to realize that if they just take some sand, a few handfuls of sand, and they put them into those gas tanks, it's much more damaging to the vehicle than it is destroying and smashing the outside. Definitely keep doing what you're doing, boys. We are all watching and rooting for you over here. But, you know, what I'm realizing is that there's probably 300 politicians in Albania, in your capital right now. 300 politicians, there's 300,000 of you. Why don't you just go in there and just arrest them? Arrest them, put them in prison, hold a snappy mandatory emergency election, elect yourself new leaders, ban all travel coming in and out of your country for the short time. That's what you guys really have to do. You have to prevent the United States. You have to prevent us from sending in fucking military assets. You got to prevent Mossad from bringing in their Mossad assets to carry out false flag terrorist attacks in your country. You have to start deporting all the illegal immigrants that invaded your country and just lock down your borders. Then get a coalition of people that can farm and get the best farmers you can have together and figure out a way to create sustainable food for your country for the short term, right? Because that's probably going to be the most important to taking your gosh damn country back. And then you can implement a government, right? You can start going and arresting all of the true criminals. People that don't want to abide by law and order, they got to go to prison. Bukele figured this out really quickly in El Salvador. And you allow the police to be real police and arrest the real criminals that are out there breaking the law. Anybody that wants to rape, murder, rob, loot, or steal instantly goes to prison. Those assholes got to go. And then you take your country back. And then you write new laws and new legislation that bans Israelis from ever traveling to your country. Completely cut them out. Italy's going to do it. You're going to watch Iran do it. You're most likely going to watch Russia do it. You're most likely going to watch a lot of these countries tell these motherfuckers to just pound sand. These terrorists that are out there destroying the fucking world that nobody likes, and everybody's realizing they're the bully on the playground. It's all coming to an end real soon, Albania. And we're proud of you guys. Keep up the great fucking work. God bless you. Godspeed out there.
It's all fun and games. So people get pissed off about.
Yeah, and that's gonna happen.
The Pentagon raised the threat of Israeli spying on the U.S. to the highest level, sources say recently. This isn't news. It's just Israel's not is the greatest enemy of the United States. The Israel government is a blight on world society and it leads to all Americans. I thoroughly despise these politicians in the Trump administration for selling us out. War is coming to America in many multiple ways. So I think that's what the surveillance state is. It's everything, all the stuff that they're putting up. If they said they had Project Looking Glass, well, if they did, then they knew something was coming for sure.
Yeah.
And they knew there was no way out. This was it. If that be true. But we'll see what the American people do. I know they don't take no shit overseas, is what it's looking like we take here. We got Stockholm Syndrome here. We're so damn, we've been abused for so long, we don't even know what to do anymore. Try to tell your neighbors that, and you get a deer in the headlights look.
Yeah.
And that is it. You got anything else, please, Nadine?
No, thank you.
Yep, Albanians are protesting. Like I said, the threat level's been raised to its highest level. I don't know what's going to come of that. They said save Israel for last. We'll see what that means.
Here over here.
It could be what? Yeah, see that?
Like we're last because we're being punished for a while. Well, we had to wake up, but not really being punished, but we had to realize what's been going on this whole entire time.
Yeah.
Otherwise, people wouldn't understand, and it would be really bad. So, you have to have enough people understand what happened, who really invaded, who's been running the show, who's controlling our politicians,
Yeah.
all that. We had to wake up to that.
Yeah, there's not enough people that are, there's too many of them that are still supporting. I wish that wasn't true, but it is.
Well, you know who they are because they have these little buttons from like the 1900s that say I stand with Israel on their jacket.
Israel has been caught spying on the United States. All of our
I know this isn't breaking news.
lives, we've been told that Israel is America's biggest ally, but according to a new report from NBC, the Pentagon raised the threat of Israel spying on the United States to the highest level. Actually, according to current and former diplomats and former national security officials, Israel for years has had a reputation for aggressive espionage, even against the United States. And it's so bad that top U.S.
Right, and I brought this article from 2014, just a couple shows back. So this has been going on for decades. But they keep calling them our greatest allies so they don't all get charged with treason.
And that goes back to when that thing you played about JFK, where he tried to bring it to the people's attention and got major backlash, right? It wasn't time yet.
Yeah, it wasn't time.
But he did plant some seeds.
Too bad it took him so long to grow.
A long time.
So treason is against the United States shall consist of only in living war against them or in adhering to their enemies, giving them aid and comfort. And that's what our politicians are doing. They're going over to Israel and they pretty much live over there, right? In DC, living there. So they're giving them aid and comfort. So you got to have the testimony of two witnesses, the same overt act, or on confession in open court.
United States. And it's so bad that top U.S. officials often take extra care when traveling to Israel, sometimes using burner phones and computers and extreme caution when speaking in hotel rooms. Any rational person reading this would ask themselves, how the fuck are they even our allies? Better yet, question 2 has to be, if we know that they're not our allies because they spy on us, why then do Republicans keep introducing bills to integrate their military with ours? Because Republicans in the House of Representatives just passed a $1.15 trillion defense spending bill known as the 2027 National Defense Authorization Act. It's a 505-page bill that on page 9 has Section 224, which would fuse Israel's military with our military by requiring synchronizing cooperative efforts between the United States and Israel, including bilateral defense technology research development, testing, evaluation, integration, and industrial cooperation. And on top of that, there's another bill introduced by Republican Senator of Arkansas, Tom Cotton, called the Intelligence Authorization Act for fiscal year 2027. That bill is 194 pages long, and on page 121, it literally prohibits even the President of the United States from breaking ties with Israel. The section is literally titled Limitations on Reduction of Intelligence Sharing. And it broadly says, in general, intelligence sharing and related security information exchanges with the government of Israel shall not be suspended, reduced, or otherwise materially limited. And you know the shit is bad when AIPAC is celebrating all of this. On Twitter, AIPAC posted, AIPAC applauds the House and Armed Services Committee for including Section 224. And they also celebrated the additional money being sent to Israel. Quote, the committee also approved $750 million for U.S.-Israel cooperative programs, a $65 million increase over fiscal year 2026, including $500 million for missile defense, $100 million for counter unmanned systems, $100 million for subterranean operations, and an additional $50 million for emerging technologies. And this is where you find out that Israel has been the largest beneficiary of U.S. aid and taxpayer dollars since 1946. We've given them a total of $300 billion since their founding as a country. It's hundreds of billions of dollars more than we've given to any other country. And to this day, we've been sending them $3.8 billion a year, including $500 million per year for missile defense. And that,
which is $400,000 an hour.
That doesn't even include the billions of dollars we've always given them for emergency aid. For example, after what happened on October 7th, we sent them an additional $16.3 billion in emergency aid. And the craziest part about all of this is that the government will always tell you that this money only goes for their military. But what they don't tell you is that the money is really fungible. Meaning, if we're paying for their military, then they can use the money that they were going to use for their military on other shit. Like, for instance, I bet you didn't even know that Israel provides universal healthcare coverage for all citizens and permanent residents. And Israeli citizens also have access to free K-12 education, child allowances, unemployment benefits, and a national pension program. What I'm telling you is, we're the ones really paying for their universal healthcare. Then we're lied to and told in the US, we can't even have universal health care because we don't have the money.
Yeah, I wonder why we don't have the money. I don't know, that'd be grand. Yeah. The Republican Party announced that it is changing its symbol from an elephant to a condom because it more accurately reflects the party's political stance. A condom allows for inflation, halts production, destroys the next generation, protects a bunch of dicks and gives you a sense of security while you actually being served screws.
Protects a bunch of dicks. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's all true.
And that's all, folks. Have a great rest of your weekend, Saturday. Right, got a lot taking place. Monday, we're going to be talking about what happened with the. I'm going to talk about, because I'm a Navy vet, so of course I'm interested in what Massey's going to say on the floor Monday at noon about the USS Liberty and how people take that, and I want to see who reacts to that, who's got a problem with him discussing that. That's telling as well. Also, Randy Swine needs to be deported to Israel. That's all I got. Y'all have a great rest of your weekend.
Good night, everybody.
Treasonous traitor bastards.
Stop speaking. They say you can't wake anybody now. Too many blinders pulling people down. But every day the cracks begin to show, and deeper truths are rising from below. People feel it in the air they breathe. Something shifting underneath the streets. Questions growing louder every day, while the headlines try to look away. No, this isn't fear we're bringing to the light. It's love enough to warm before the night. If I stay silent while the storm rolls through, then what kind of heart would I be showing you? We can't stop speaking, we can't look away. Too many signs are rising every day. The world keeps changing faster than we knew, and truth keeps breaking through the view. This ain't division, this is care enough to try to help each other see beyond the lies. Awareness is the flame we carry through, because real love tells the truth. Massive towers humming day and night, data centers glowing out of sight. Machines learning every move we make, tracking every breath and every wake. Power brokers buying up the land, APAC taking seats with hidden hands. Money moving faster than the law, while the people stand in shock and awe. Digital chains wrapped in shiny gold, trading freedom just to feel control. They build the systems higher every day, while slowly pushing human hearts away. But truth survives inside the ones who see, the few who still believe humanity. And even if they mock us when we speak, a seed of doubt is planted every week. We can't stop speaking, we can't look away. Too many signs are rising every day. The world keeps changing faster than we knew, and truth keeps breaking through the view of the same division. This is care enough to try to help each other see beyond the lies. Awareness is the flame we carry through, because real love tells the truth. Now I won't hate the ones who disagree, cause once I walked to sleep so easily, but now the veil is tearing thread by thread, and people finally question what they're fed. The future's hanging somewhere in between human souls and cold machine regimes. But if enough of us refuse to kneel, then maybe something human